What is up, and welcome to Me, You, and Switch 2. I am me, Tom Tate, and you are you, so let's talk about Switch 2. This is the latest and greatest Nintendo Switch 2 news, brought to you every Tuesday and Friday in snackable 5 to 10 minute episodes. Today happens to be Friday. It is August 28th. It is 7:41 a.m. on the East Coast, and this is episode 130. Just want to say welcome to Friday. I hope that you have a good weekend planned. I've got a few things I'm really looking forward to. I don't like to say my plans out loud because I don't want to jinx them. I mean, I'm not a superstitious person, but I feel like every time I talk about my plans, something goes awry. So I will wait until Tuesday to give an update on my weekend, hoping that everything comes to fruition. But I hope that you have something planned. The best Fridays are the ones when you have something to look forward to. Or actually, maybe the best Fridays are the ones where you have nothing to look forward to and your weekend can just kind of become what it needs to be. But today we have a lot to talk about. This will definitely be somewhere around the 10-minute mark, if not longer, because Gamescom is happening or happened this week. It's a big event in Germany. We covered it last year too. Jeff Keighley of the Game Awards and Summer Games Fest, he kicks this off with an event that they call Opening Night Live. You'll see it. The acronym is ONL. You'll see that a bit too. It's a typical Keighley type event with some trailers, some reveals. They bring some gaming and pop culture personalities out on stage to talk about their games and talk about stuff. Today, I'm just going to talk about Switch 2 announcements and stuff that was cross-platform that includes Switch 2, nothing else. There was a lot at the show that I won't talk about at all. I'm also not going to talk about Grand Theft Auto 6. If you want that, I'm sure every gaming podcast other than this one will have you covered. There were some big reveals this past week on Netflix, and just in general, this game is starting to heat up with its marketing, and there were a bunch of leaks over the past 2 weeks. It's really dominated the conversation. I don't have to talk about any of that because Grand Theft Auto, as of now, will not arrive on Switch 2. Okay, Opening Night Live. This is in no real specific order, just kind of going off of memory, and my notes were a little jumbled. On September 29th, we're getting a Witcher 3 Switch 2 edition, which will get the new Songs of the Past expansion when it releases next year. The Witcher 3 was released on Switch 1 in 2019, and if you own that Switch 1 edition, the Switch 2 edition will be a free upgrade, which is always a nice gesture. It'll also contain all of the other DLC expansions. We did get a nice Final Fantasy VII Revelation trailer, and I'll be honest, I tried to half watch it. I don't want to see any more of this game. I really don't. I think they've shown enough. It looks amazing though. But I kind of averted my eyes. I didn't want any spoilers. But the trailer looked really good if you want to check that one out too. Turok Origins got a new story trailer. This is coming to Switch 2, but it'll now be delayed to spring 2027, not fall 2026, which I think was the previous kind of window that we got when we saw Turok at one of the Nintendo Directs. Red Octane, who is the OG developer who pioneered the Guitar Hero games. They shared more content from Stage Tour, which is their new game. This is a revival of the kind of the Rock Band Guitar Hero style of plastic instruments. That whole era is back with Stage Tour. I'm super excited. The song they chose was Kickstart My Heart by Motley Crue. Great fits. This is like a $130 to $200 investment, though, if you want to get back into these games. I have my old guitars for the Wii. I guarantee you they are not going to be compatible with any of this. I even have the drum set from the Wii. Again, it's all kind of Wiimote based. So I think if I wanted to get back into the full band experience, guitar, bass, microphone, drums, this is going to be a $350 investment if I just want the guitars. And maybe the drums $250. So I am not in a place to afford this just yet. Maybe it's time to ramp up that Patreon account that I've been talking about. Just kidding. It'll always be free. But this looks like a lot of fun. This will release in December. So that is Stage Tour by Red Octane. The City Skylines designers showed up at ONL with a city builder game, but this one is built entirely out of Legos. It is called Lego Skylines. It's coming to multiple platforms. No release date yet, but if you're a fan of Lego games, this one looks pretty awesome. Crazy Taxi World, which we saw a bit of earlier in the year, had a quick trailer with some multiplayer gameplay. Same, awesome soundtrack to expect from this one. There's a game called Mugenics releasing on September 8th. It apparently is a cat breeding tactics game. It'll be on multiple consoles and Switch 2, but it's already been out on PC since February, so a few of you might have played this game. If not, you might have heard of it, and I'm sure you could definitely find reviews of it. This game had a live music performance, which was kind of cool. Some other games I jotted down: Acornia Mirror Worlds, which was like a cartoony action adventure game where you play as a chipmunk, I think. 2027 for that one. Rayman Legends Retold had a Macarena themed level. Yes, the 90s song Macarena was featured in this particular level. Snoop Dogg is coming to a Hitman expansion called The Herbalist. Mariachi Legends, which was like a unique looking platformer. That got a release date trailer. That'll be April 27th. Age Twisters. This was another interesting co-op game. We're seeing a lot of these games like Orbitals, where you have to do mandatory co-op. This had some really interesting puzzles being solved in the trailer. It kind of reminded me of the game Good Job, but like way more expanded. And you had a partner, to get these puzzles completed. There's a studio called MCB Studio that has developers from Bungie and BioWare and a few other kind of classic studios. They showed a co-op game as well called 1001 Threads of Mazan. This game looked really, really slick. It was like, it had like an Arabian Nights thing going on with flying carpets and multiplayer gameplay and genies. I'll be keeping an eye out on this one for sure. I think this was like maybe the opening trailer, but this was a cool looking game. That's 1001 Threads of Mazan, and it looked really good. So I was excited to see Switch 2 as one of the logos towards the end. Finally, I've got to give a shout out to Mega Man. So we got some Mega Man footage. I was expecting this over the summer, right? Like either in a Nintendo Direct or Summer Games Fest. But we finally got Dual Override trailer footage with a lot more gameplay, some boss battles, teaser of Proto Man's inclusion in the game. It sounds like you can play as Proto Man, which is awesome. It looks like a similar engine or graphic style to Mega Man 11. But from what I've read, this is running the new RE engine over at Capcom. Well, I guess it's not new anymore, but it's not running that Mega Man 11 engine. It's running the RE engine. I actually really enjoyed Mega Man 11. I know a lot of fans were really down on that game. I had a fun time with it, though. My challenge with Mega Man 11 and this whole thing, it really, like the graphic style and the gameplay and the speed of the gameplay, it's really reminiscent of Mighty Number 9, if you remember that game. It was not a Capcom game. And I know like this wasn't Capcom, but it was an epic fail. It was a Kickstarter by Inafune, who was like one of the creators of Mega Man, and it just was not a great game. Maybe it like came around. Maybe it's like cult classic-y now, but I did not enjoy Mighty Number 9, and these games remind me of it. But maybe the other issue is like they look so far into the classic Mega Man games that I grew up on and played thousands of times. But I'm stoked. I am stoked for Mega Man Dual Override. I'll be getting this on day one. It was exciting to see more of it. They also showed this big, goofy Mega Man skin for Pragmata. So the main character in Pragmata, which is like this big, burly guy, you can have him basically be wearing a giant Mega Man costume. Looked absolutely hilarious. Worth Googling. Google image search Pragmata Mega Man skin if you have a minute, because it is truly, hilarious and horrifying at the same time. I think that's mostly it from ONL. There was some Aminutia content, I think, which now has a demo on Switch 2. It was a fun show. I definitely recommend checking this out. Midweek, it was exciting to have something to watch. I'll link to the full video in the notes. Nintendo Life put out an article that says Switch 2 footage is coming out of Gamescom and it looks tasty, or it's looking tasty. I talked about how much Switch 2 gameplay is being captured at Gamescom. They show Dragon's Dogma 2, 007 First Light, which is eventually getting released on Switch 2. It's been out for a while on other platforms. Metaphor, ReFantazio, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4. So if you want to see some reflections on how these games are performing on Switch 2, I'll link to that article as well. People went hands-on with Mega Man. People went hands-on with Nintendo Switch Sports Resort, which is coming out soon. Oh, they debuted a new Worms game. So Worms Galactic Tactics. It's more of a 3D tactical game. It was actually kind of giving me some of the cartoony vibes from those Mario plus Rabbids games, which I actually enjoyed too. So Worms Galactic Tactics will be coming out, I think, in 2027. Other news not related to ONL or Gamescom. We'll just do a lightning round here. The Wolf Among Us Remastered has a release date now, October 29th. This time next week, Switch 2's base price will rise $50 in the US to $4.99. Nintendo announced 2 bundles to coincide with this. One will be in September. It will be the Mario Kart bundle, which will now be $5.49. So you're getting Mario Kart, saving you $30 on Mario Kart. And then in October, they'll have a Switch Sports Resort bundle for $5.29. So some savings if you want those specific games, but it's still over the $500 mark. So, if you're listening to this today and you want to Switch 2, you don't have one, you can go save $50, right? So just putting it out there. Okay, last thing I want to cover, and then I know we're over time. Elden Ring Tarnished Edition is finally available on Switch 2, and you might be wondering if it's any good. This game was plagued with poor performance in the early builds when it was starting to get some exposure. Apparently, it's cleaned up quite a bit. Sean Musgrave gave it a 9 out of 10. Sean Musgrave over at Nintendo Insider gave it a 9 out of 10. He kind of says the graphic trade-offs are worth it just to play it on handheld if that's your preference. He also said, and I quote, "As for newcomers, I would say that if you enjoyed Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom and are looking for something that scratches a similar itch, but with a lot more spice, this might just be your next favorite game." And, reading that quote, that's me. Loved the latest Zelda games. I have not played Elden Ring before. So, I would be new. I would be a new player to Elden Ring and the Dark Souls games. Nintendo Life's Mitch Vogel gave it a 9 out of 10 as well, and his joys in his article: outstanding open world design, tons of memorable, brutal boss fights, Shadow of the Erd Tree, which is the expansion, offers an enormous secondary campaign, looks and runs great docked or portable, and the cons: very occasional frame drops, and story is kind of vague and awkward, but I think that is not related to Switch 2. I mean, that's just part of the game. So, super exciting to see that this game performed well. Nintendo Life's Roundup, I'll link to that as well too, shared a few more 5 out of 5s and 9 out of 10s. The consensus is really high that this game is perfect for Switch 2. A lot of reviews seem to clarify, though, and point out that it's not the best option to play the game. So if you have the ability to play somewhere else and you plan to just play on TV and not handheld, there are better options. And those options might even be cheaper today. Game Informer's Kyle Hilliard said, or titled his article, "The Worst Way to Play the Best Game." And maybe that sums it up if you are coming back to this game, or if you're visiting it for the first time and you have a PS5 or you have some other way to play. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up. We're way over time. This is another week without an Ocarina of Time Direct. And with that, I am out. I hope that you enjoy the weekend. Go do something you love to do. That's my game plan. If you enjoyed this show, reviews and recommendations and word of mouth really helps keep the show growing every week. It helps other people find the show. So I'm super grateful. I want to thank you so much for your time and your attention. Switch 2 Pod, that's switch with the number 2pod.com for all the things, all the show notes. Switch 2 Pod on Blue Sky and Instagram if you need to reach me. Much love. Now go play some games.